Right, so here we go then, off on another little trip. In keeping with the last one I did with the Brompton touring group, where I went through the map first and showing you where I was going, that seemed to go down quite well. Seems to be quite a popular little thing to do. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you where I'm off to today. Here we go. Right, so here we are in Bishopsworth, just outside of Bristol, which is where I'll be starting. I don't know if you can see all those contour lines on the map there, but I start by heading up to the top of Dundry Hill. That's actually the highest point in Bristol, still in the boundary of Bristol I believe, and it's the highest point around. And Dundry Hills is a part really of the Mendip Hills, although the main Mendip Hills are here, the Mendip Hills. The large yellow area there is the plateau of the Mendip Hills. That's where I'm heading, but my route is going to take me up to Dundry, down into little town village of Winford, and then up across the lanes, and I eventually drop down through Buckham, that makes a lovely beer, to Blagden Lake, up through Blagden Lake into the village of Blagden, and then up to this spot here. It's not even mentioned on the map, but I'm heading up to Blackdown again, which is the highest point in the Mendips. So it's the highest point I can get to relatively easily in a day's ride from Bristol. So that's where I'm heading. Be doing a wild camp there. If that sounds of interest, stay with me. It's a beautiful place, I promise you. Okay, so I just wanted to stop at this point and show you this place. Bristol View Glamping. So I'm at the top of the Dundry Hill. And there's this little glamping place. It looks like there is somebody here because there's a car over there. Hopefully don't mind me just having a look. I wanted to show you the view. If you're ever thinking of doing a little glamping trip, then this is definitely a place to consider. And there is Bristol. You can see, probably not pick it up here, but there's the suspension bridge there, and then in the far distance there's the bridge across the River Severn. It's a fantastic view on a day like today. So there we go, top of my first hill, Dundry Hill, highest point in Bristol, and there's your reward. There's the view. Right, onwards. Right, so I've not been filming a lot on the way because I set off relatively late. This is a trip I'm doing after work. So yeah, so not a lot of time to get to my destination. It's already gone 6 in the evening and I'm not there as yet. Wanted to stop here. I have stopped here before. I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you the other side. Right, so there we go. I've just climbing up out of Burrington village. I've come down from the other side there. That's Dundry Hill in the distance there. Just taking it out of focus into it, but yeah, on the far horizon there is Dundry Hill. So I came up Dundry, followed it along, dropped down to Winscombe, which you can't see, it's the other side of the hill where the lake is there. Came up the hill again, dropped down to the lake, and now up to here, which although you can't see, it's the top of an old quarry, and they put a bench or two up here for people. And my route is up the hill and further on to the top. There's a bit of a breeze blowing. It could be a bit exposed up there, but we'll see what happens when I get there. I was tempted to stop down at the lake there and find a spot somewhere on the side of there. It's very tempting not to bother with this hill, but I do know the rewards on a night like tonight's going to be for being up there. Get a fantastic sunset, and I'll be up bright and early in the morning for what will be, hopefully, another fantastic sunrise. Not many places you get a sunset and a sunrise on one camp, so I'm looking forward to that immensely. So yeah, well-deserved little stop, much needed, but I'll get back on my way. So this is just cycling out from the top of Blagdon village up towards Blackdown itself, my final destination. Yeah, this was the last bit of cycling I would be doing. Once I get to the path there, it's hike a bike up to the top of the hill. So yeah, it's a bit of a scramble. It's quite a way to be pushing a fully loaded Brompton, but well, I'll let you make your own mind up whether it was worth the effort or not when you see the top. So as you can hear from this clip, the wind up here was absolutely horrendous. It's blowing an absolute gale. So the audio, despite using wind muffs and such on the mics, is just pretty much unusable. So this next section, I'm going to cut out a lot of the video that I used because of the quality of the sound. But just bear with me, 2 or 3 minutes, and then normal volume, normal audio will return. So just bear with me. Okay, so what I was just pointing out here was these the mounds that are around. They're Iron Age burial mounds, including the trig point itself that I'm stood on. Was placed here in the Iron Age as a burial chamber. The lanes that you can sort of see, the pathways going down laid out in rectangles, were laid out by Ealing Studios in World War II. This was what was called a starfish site, which was meant to trick German bombers into thinking that this was a town or city, particularly in this area, the city of Bristol. So these street grids were laid out, and then there are fires were lit after the first wave of bombers had gone on, to try and fool following waves of bombers into thinking that that was buildings on fire. So yeah, I'm just pointing some of the features out up here. It's a very historic area. Yeah, and absolutely brilliant to be up here. So that's what I was pointing out at this point. Right, so I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to do about a spot to camp. I've had a look at the weather forecast, and the wind is forecast to drop as the evening and the night progresses. So if it does what it's forecast to do, that can only be good. You can see there, I've got my meal on. It's getting towards 8 o'clock in the evening, and I haven't eaten yet since work. So yeah, that's on. There's my view. Very, very nice. I'm not just eating mushrooms, by the way. Mushrooms first. Get those on and get those part cooked. Then I'll drop those back in the box there. And that little beauty goes on. Lovely piece of rump steak. We'll get that done. See where that takes us time-wise, and then think about putting the tent up, maybe filming a sunset, or whatever else takes my fancy. Look at that, easy there, IPA, juicy and smooth, 4.3% by the Green King Brewery. Right, so the sun's set. I've enjoyed a beer, something to eat. It was a battle cooking that steak, I will tell you. Yeah, the jet boil, I've used it in high winds before, but with the actual jet boil pan, if you like, and it's been absolutely fine. It was a real battle. I had to bring it up here to the trig point to get that. It's still very windy, but I'm where I wanted to be. Look at that view behind me now. It is beautiful. Now the tent is over here. It's not exactly sheltered, and that was another battle putting the tent up, but it's up. I hope the sound's coming out okay on this. Yeah, got the wind slayer on, so it should hopefully be okay. I'll show you the tent. So there we go. Tent's up, just got to put the bike in. Everything else is in there, sleep system ready to go. Back up there to the trig point, and it's safe to say I'll be the highest man for miles around tonight. Not, yeah, literally, not figuratively high. The only high I've had, there will be a couple of beers. Very nice, hazy IPAs. So yeah, I'm going to get the bike in, settle down in my chair there and watch the last of the sunset. I may even do myself a coffee, I don't know. No, I think I'm going to have the last of the beers, settle down, wait until it goes dark, and then I'll be in the tent. If anything weird and wonderful happens during the night, I'll bring you back in. I may pop out later and try and do some star photography with the sky like that. There's likely to be some stars about, so I might see how that goes with this new camera. I don't know. There are voices in the distance and I've been hearing them all evening, and I've had a walk down there, can't see anyone, so I don't know where they are or what they're doing, but places like this, sound does carry a long way. But yeah, just again, Bristol Channel, Blagden Lake, Chew Valley Lake. There's a light over there. I think that's the top of the Mendips transmitter, but I'm not certain. No, it's not. The Mendips transmitter is that way. Is it? Yeah, it's that way. Right, yeah, I'm going to drink in this view, drink my drink, and I may or may not bring you in later. If not, I'll see you in the morning. Okay, so good morning campers. IDI and all that. It's 4:30 in the morning and I'm up ready for the sunrise. See what we get today. The sunset probably seen. Was going really well till about the last 5 minutes, and then it went behind a bank of cloud and we lost it. I've got the camera set up there, already recording the sunrise. It rises in about, well, just under half an hour, just before 5. So I've got that set up nice and early to capture that and any sort of cloud. There's virtually no wind this morning. I'll have a little stroll back up to the trig point and do a 360 view there. I didn't realise quite how those barrows line up that way. They didn't seem to from the trig point, but those three at least do. That's the Burial barrows. Had a good night's sleep. It's chilly for the time of year, but that's been well, I say that's been the story of the year. It hasn't in some ways, but it seems to be that kind of year, hasn't it? A bit wet and a bit damp, and yeah, we've just had a spell of some good weather. When I say a spell, 3 or 4 days. Summer seemed to have finally arrived, but it was chilly last night with the wind, and it's chilly again this morning. It's that time of year, just gone summer solstice. It hardly ever seemed to go dark last night. I didn't stick my head out to have a look at the stars. I was quite tired. But yeah, that's back out towards Western. A few lights twinkling in the distance. There is Western Supermare. Now, over there, I was looking at this last night, and I think that is Glastonbury.
I could be wrong, but I think that's Glastonbury Festival. I have to have a look at Google Maps, see if I can work out, but that's roughly the direction it would be in. I'm pretty sure that'd be on Cheddar there. Brightest lights are over there, and that is Bristol Airport over on the hill at the other side there. But what will soon be the brightest light will be coming up over there, and that'll be the sunrise there over Blagden Lake. Got the moon in the sky. We've got the dawn chorus, and I'm going to add to that noise shortly by getting the jet boil on and warming myself up with an iced coffee. Nice coffee and the good old porridge for breakfast. Having taken in the view, absolutely lovely. Catch you soon. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This, for me, on a wild camp, is the best time of day. The only noise, apart from my jet boil there, which I did say would be disturbing the peace earlier, is the dawn chorus. Absolutely no one around, got the place to myself. Yeah, it's good for the soul. It's good for the soul. Oh, no problems with the jet boil this morning. I literally just lit it. I've got enough water in there for a coffee and a porridge, and it's already ready. Makes the morning even better. So I was sat up there having my coffee by the trig point at the end of the trail there, and well, it's been a fantastic camp. The sunrise there absolutely brought a smile to my face. Fantastic sunrise this morning, worth coming just for that. But the one slight disappointment is I've not seen the ponies that are up here. There's a herd of Exmoor ponies, and then I wandered up to the trig point and I saw these babies in the distance there. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. That makes it complete for me. First ride of the morning, couple of 100 metres to see the ponies. Morning ponies. Okay, so there we go, all packed up. A little patch of flat grass there is where I was. The bike's ready, waiting for me. So this is where I sign out. I won't be filming the journey home. Got to get home to my grandson has a football tournament this morning, so I'll be off for that. Not sure what the time is now, I haven't checked, but I think it's about 6:30, so it's a bright and early start. I will just take you back up here to the trig point. Now the sun is shining, we've got a much better view. I'll share the view with you. So there we go again. I'll zoom that in a little bit. Out the Western Supermare again. Now, over in the distance there is where I thought might have been Glastonbury. Couldn't have been more wrong. I can see now it's actually Inkley Point, Europe's biggest building site, where they're building the new nuclear power station. So Glastonbury is more in this direction. Yeah. I could see the lights for that actually, but didn't realise what that was. Can't see the tour, not in this light. But yeah, there we go. It's been a fantastic camp. Absolutely loved it. Waited much too long for it. I enjoyed the last one with a couple of guys on the Brompton touring group. It was nice to have a bit of company, and it was a gentle sort of introduction back into it after a long layoff. But enjoyed that. This is a different thing again, out by myself in a place like this. The next one, I've got the next one in mind, and it shouldn't be too long before I'm doing it, and I will cover sort of the fear or concerns that I know a lot of people have about doing something like this. When I talk to people about what I do, tell them where I'm going or what I'm doing, people tend to fall into two camps. Why on earth would you want to do that? Is quite a common one. And the other one is, well, that sounds good, but I wouldn't do it by myself. I understand both those points of view, and if that's how you feel, that's great. But there's a third camp, a smaller camp perhaps, but a third camp that think, yeah, I'd like to do that, but I'm not so sure about this, that or the other. So I'll cover that next time. Wow. Fantastic. Haven't seen the soul this morning, which is not a surprise. And again, as I say, that's for me is, you know, what would you pay for a room with a view like that, and it was all yours? Which is what I've had this morning. Absolutely fantastic. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks for staying with me. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, please leave me a like. Helps the channel. It's all good. And hopefully I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.